Now, throughout the course of this DVD, we've learned some really spectacular cards. And this tutorial is all about how to store them. So what I thought I'd teach you is how to make one of these fabulous card storage folders. Now what we're doing is I'm going to show you how to make this size here, which is made to hold a standard 6x6 card. But then I've also included the instructions in the PDFs for how to do the smaller version and the larger version for your other regular standard size cards. So they will fit most of the cards that we've covered on this DVD. Now if I pop them to one side, because it's the 6x6 one that we're making, to do this you're going to need 2 sheets of cardstock. The first one is a regular sheet of UK size A3 paper, well, cardstock. And that is in inches, that is 16.5 inches by just over 11.5, so 11.7. So if you're cutting this down from another sheet, 16.5 by 11.7. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our Ultimate with the boxer board sat in place. So we've got the boxer in place to do some really accurate scoring and measuring. And what we're going to do is place the short edge up against where the handle is. And the first score line that we're going to do is 5.25 inches. So 5, and then 2 little notches after 5 is our 1/4 inches. Okay? Turn it right around and do the same again, 5.25 inches at 2 opposite corners. Okay? Then we turn it to this way, and what we're going to do is we're going to score all the way along at 6.75 inches. So 6.75 is this one here. And because this is longer, what we're going to do is we're going to take our cardstock up and continue the score line down. Okay? And then I also want you to put a little marking on at the 4.25 inches. So you've got 4.25 inches and put a little mark. And what I'll do is I'll put it in pencil so it's a little bit easier for you to see. Okay? And then we're going to take that marking right down the other side. So remember, we go from 4.25 down the other side, which happens to be 4 inches from at the bottom. And we put a little marking where that 4 inches is. Okay? And then what we're going to do is just take that away and use one of the score lines underneath on our card scoring board. And we're going to line up from where the little marking is up to the edge. And then the same on this side from where the marking is up to the edge. Okay? And it's much easier to do when you use the regular Ultimate underneath because you don't have as many score lines. Alright? Now what we're going to do, so with our scissors or using a craft knife if it's easier, we're just going to cut right up the central part of that score line and remove that first piece. Do the same here and remove the second piece. And then in the bottom here, we're going to cut these away all together. And this is going to form the base and the wraparound sides. So you can see when we fold and burnish these now, remember always fold them away from yourself first. You can see that will wrap around to form the base element of our card storage here. Now, to make the actual full base, we need another sheet of card, and this one is cut to 14.25 inches by 10.75 inches. Okay, so 14.25 by 10.75. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in, and I want you to score. We're going to score 2 lines. We're going to score at 2 inches, and also at 4.1/8 of an inch, right? So just one little notch past the 4. And I want you to do this on 3 sides. So same again here, 2 and 4.1/8. So 4 and the one little notch past. And we'll take that right the way to the end and do the scoring. And then do it on the 3rd side. And you only do this on 3 sides, not 4, which is what you would do if you were making a regular box. Okay? And that's all of our scoring done. So we're going to fold and burnish all of these crease lines, and you can see there, this one is just that slightly 1/8 of an inch smaller. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut straight up. So we're going right up the centre of the score line, or you could go slightly to the left of it if you want to cut the score line off. Cut this away, okay, and then you're going to cut out this full corner panel. So that we're left with just that gluing flap, okay? So I'll show you that again. We're coming right up the centre of the score line, or if you prefer to cut it away, just to the side. And then we're coming in on a diagonal. Take that piece out. And then we're coming across here. We're cutting this whole panel away. And then this piece here. So that you leave yourself with a nice little gluing flap. Now, how we stick these together, you pop glue first of all onto these panels here, and these panels fold up inside the box. And then these outside gluing flaps, we're just going to put tape along both sides of them. And that will just tuck in nicely. And I'm just going to make sure that's nicely burnished on the inside. And then do the same here. Obviously it won't be quite as fiddly for you because you won't be trying to do it back to front upside down for a camera. But you just put plenty of glue on these flaps. And what we're doing is we're double walling this so that it makes a nice strong base. So we've got our nice three-sided base, and then I would recommend using a wet glue, and I've got a wet glue here, and I'm just going to put plenty of wet glue over the base panel here, which is going to enable me to slide it into place. That goes into place just like that. And oh, you see mine's just a tiny little bit tight. Because we used a wet glue, I can come in and I could just slightly angle those corners just so that they're a nice neat fit and not too tight. And hopefully I'll only need to do it on one side. Yeah, that's going to sit in much neater now. And then we're just going to pop some glue on the inside panel here, not all the way up. We'll pop the first side in, and then exactly the same here. So first of all, I'm just going to turn this to me so I can see it. Put plenty of glue in, and then that side there is going to sit into place as well. And that is a very nicely strong constructed base, and you can see just how using a decorative cardstock you can make really well organised card pieces. And you can adjust the sizings on here if you want to make it a little bit thinner, or you could even put dividers in here as well. And if you remember what I said, if you pop this DVD into your computer, you can print out the PDF instruction sheets which accompany this, and you could be making it in the smaller size or in the larger size, which are all worked out to fit your regular size cards, and it's all written down in that instructions, but it all follows the same principle as to what we've learned to do that one here. So now that you've made those gorgeous cards, go and get them organised in your own storage boxes.